Hiya and hello and welcome back to the What is K-pop podcast, where in which I talk all things K-pop. Hi, my name is Sophie. I have been into K-pop since February 2021. Been doing this podcast since February 2024. Believe me, the irony is not lost on me. I turned 22 in late August. I have 2 cats and I live with my parents. Yeah. That's about everything that you need to learn about me. Sorry, I was just looking at the message that was sent about potentially doing a little birthday celebration at my whatchamacallit support group. Yeah. My brain's been a little bit fried. I'm gonna have to talk about my own life just like 1 minute. So if you don't want to hear about that, then I can skip ahead a few minutes, I don't know. But essentially what kind of went on is that I was gonna go walk to my local co-op, which is only like a few minutes away. But because it was really warm in the morning, I didn't really want to. So instead, what I did was that I went with my mum and my sister to Aldi and then Tesco. So we go to Tesco, Aldi first. It's completely fun, and all that good stuff. Like, it's a bit chaotic with my mum trying to we're trying to find the flowers and stuff and the cards, and I find it really cool. So them two go off around Aldi, and I carry on shopping. And we get to the tills, and because of the self-service checkouts being a little bit whack in Aldi, the poor store assistant kept on coming to try and help us every couple of minutes. So that was just pure chaos and stuff. And we get to I forgot about this too. So my mum, she so we come out of our clothes and we go down this road that then leads to the main road that you drive on to get into town. So obviously I can't say the specifics, but yeah. And instead of going just straight on to go round like the straight road, she turns off into like the other road, right? And that goes down, and my sister was like, oh, okay, I guess we can go that way. Then she is about to start turning, doesn't turn and carries on. And my sister was like, oh, I really thought you were going to turn off there, so that made me feel a bit sick. And I was like, oh yeah, fuck. And so we go down this road and stuff, and my mum's about to turn in on the road. She does, and it's all fine. And she goes into the road, the lane. That's what I'm trying to say, the lane that will allow us to turn into town. But the thing is that we're not meant to go into town, we're meant to just carry on, and then it takes us to Aldi. And it's because we will happen to have been talking about 2 elderly people who live down our street, which, I mean, to be fair, most of the people that live down their street anyway. But they are part owners of a pub. So they go and have breakfast there every morning. So cute, so adorable. I love that for them. And my sister was like, we're not meant to go into town, we're not meant to go into town. And so my mum does this violent turn, I kid you not, into the right lane. And I mean, I don't get car sick that much. I tend to feel if my brain's been overwhelmed, or if I have a bit of a pickle headache and stuff, I'll feel a little bit, not terribly fond of being in a car for too long, and I just kind of want to go and not be in a car and stuff. But when she did that, even I was like, oh god, that was not fun. So we get to Audi and stuff, and everything's fine, and we get to the self-checkout. It's a bit whack. And so we just are like, oh my god, I hate this. Why are the self-checkouts so in Aldi? And we go to Tesco and stuff, and it's alright, I just kind of stay with the books, and then I eventually leave, and I'm sat outside of Tesco on not sitting, but when you're are kind of sitting on, I don't know how to explain it, but leaning on the bags of soil just on my phone. And my mum and my sister obviously come out, and they're like, oh, that's so cute, she was just sat there waiting for us. But the thing is that it was much cooler outside, sitting in the shade, than it would have been stood up next to the car, because it was because it's kind of warm today. And so we like all three of us start walking back to the car. And this lady in this car, like obviously in the car parking space, there's like that little bit of raised pavement and stuff that like obviously you can't really drive on there. But this woman, she like drives forward and somehow half gets her car onto the bloody pavement. We're walking past talking as she's talking to her friend. So we're all just like, okay, we're just gonna very, very quickly go back to the car. And apparently, because I wasn't watching um the woman in the car, because quite frankly I did not care to see if this lady was going to carry on like driving onto the thing, and I was just like, let's just go, let's just go. Apparently she drove across the little bit of pavement in between these two lights and just committed to the bit, which I appreciate. You commit. If you're gonna do it, you're gonna do it. But she really fucking did it, man. It was actually quite magical. If you were seeing it, it was like, I'm impressed right now. Like, you are really going for it. You are really driving that pavement right now. So anyway, we get to, like, she drives away. She drives down to the turn point thingy. Like, it's a freeway thing. So like obviously it's like let's just pretend it like the way in, like, it's north. You're going to out of town, you're going into town, or you come out of Tesco or into Tesco. Does that make any sense? So my mum goes into the lane to turn to go out of town, which I'm like, okay, well I guess we're going to the scary roundabout, whatever, it's fine. So we go, and we happen to be talking about driver's licenses, or at least I wasn't. My mum and my sister were. So they're talking about driver's licenses and about how my dad's gonna have to like take his test soon again, and for like over 70s they have to like retake their tests, and he's 67. And that our elderly neighbour, who I will very gladly tell you his name, Ron. Oh my god, I shouldn't laugh, but also I'm just like, it's a little bit too funny. He had a stroke about a year or so ago, and he spent some time in the nursing home, right? And eventually came back to live with his girlfriend, partner, whatever they want to call themselves. That weird the weird thing. To be fair, I've always considered them as being married because I've known them for like my whole life. So like they're married in my mind. And we were talking about how, if he went for his extra test, they would see him coming out of the car, obviously to come and do. And like from that alone, it would be like, actually, you're good. I don't think we need to do this test. Like, we're not doing this test, which sounds really bad, but God, his driving is questionable. Sorry, I really shouldn't laugh, but God, it was funny. And my mum somehow sees out of the corner of her eye. So we get up to this roundabout, and there's like an exit going like left, top left. There's one a little bit further up the roundabout. Then there's one going off to the right, and then like the final exit. And a holiday home, like half of a holiday home is around from the far right. So like it will drive along and pass us as it's going to wherever it's going to. And my mum's like, "Oh, Sophie, I've seen the perfect house for you. We can just pop it on to the side of the house." Right. So I was talking about potentially having granny annex for him. But now I'm just like, I don't care. But I was just sat there and I was like, this is just pure chaos and I just want to go home. And my sister was like, Mum, you do know that this is only half of a house, right? And she's like, oh, she doesn't need the other half of the house. She's fine. She'll just come through. She didn't like say, ooh. It was just like, oh, she would come around to the rest of the house to like do that stuff. And I was like, Right. Okay. So anyway, we like go around the roundabout, or in America they're called circles, which I think is a more stupid name for a roundabout. You're going around the roundabout. You're going roundabout to circle. It's very strange. Anyway, so we go down what we call the bypass, which, if you don't know what that means, essentially what it means is that it's a big long road that literally, I kid you not, bypasses the entire town. So if you're going like if you're driving up into the town, air quotes town, and you don't want to have to drive through the entire thing, you can go down this straight road that will take you to the other side of the town, and you can basically just go wherever it is that you're going to. You can also, like, we sometimes use it to get around to the other side of the town if we don't want to have to go through the entire town, like for when we go and get my sister's, like, a van for when my sister goes to uni and stuff and comes back from uni, we will go around the bypass way and into, like, the industrial area of the town. So we go on this bypass, and due to the high speeds of this road, there is a lot of, how can I say this without it being slightly concerning? There's a lot of things that are no longer on this mortal plane that are left on this side of this road. I'm not really watching, quite frankly, because I do not care enough to be watching this. And so, them two bozos, quite frankly, I love them, bozos, start arguing about, or like, talk, a very irritating discussion about these things on the side of the road, about how cute they are, about how they shouldn't have left the mortal plane, about how disgusting it is for hitchhikers and, like, people who eat that sort of stuff to be eating it because they will get ill. And I was just like, I'm just sat here, sat in the car, just unwittingly, just, I can't leave. Obviously, it's a high speed. Like, we're going relatively fast. We're also, like, several miles away from home, and you just can't leave the car because it's not safe. So I was just sat there. Apparently, my sister sees two things on this road, so I was like, great, love that for her. I'm just sat there, and we get to the end of the road, and we turn again on a roundabout. First exit, it's like our part of town, and my and like somehow we got onto the topic of conversation of how my nan started to show signs of dementia, which I will very gladly talk about, because it runs in the family. They start talking about um how they wanted, like, we've always wanted to see foxes and whales and stuff, like, out and about. No, it wasn't foxes, it was just whales, actually. And what am I talking about? But it was my younger uncle. My nan apparently phoned my younger uncle up and said to him, hey, there's a fox at the end of the road, if you want to bring the kids down to see it. And again, this fox was not on the mortal plane anymore. So, and my uncle was like, what? Why would I want to bring the kids to see that? And my nan was like, because it's a fox. It didn't occur to us back then, obviously, that it was the start of her cognitive decline and stuff. It was like, what? Why would we want to go and see that? And, like, we've mentioned about wanting to see whales and stuff. Like, we want to go out and, like, see whales in their natural environment and stuff, or, like, go to places that have them. My nan phones us up because she loves Hunstanton, which, again, very glad I talk about, and says, oi, Alison, take your kids to Hunstanton, there's a whale there. And my mum was like, Mum, I'm not going to go and take the kids to see a whale that's beached itself. Because sometimes some whales get too close to the shore and end up, no longer being able to swim out. And, when they've done that, it's in some whales it's because they don't want to be on the water plane anymore. Sometimes it's just accidents. And, again, I'm just sat there. I'm like, what on earth is happening right now? I want to get out this car. Again, I can't leave. I need to keep on reiterating the point of that I am just stuck in this car. And so finally, we pull into the neighborhood ish, like the part ish of town that kind of contains our street or like neighborhood. We drive down the road and we just happen to always automatically look at this one house whose front garden is very big, and they create, for whatever reason, a scrap metal family. They also have this tree that they often use to make these scrap metal displays. And the scrap family is in, and like the parents are in the hot tub, right? And there is a teletubby in the tree. So me and my sister, we're both looking at the scrap family, and my mum goes to us, like as she's driving away, wasn't there a teletubby in that tree? And we're like, what? What are you talking about? And so my mum carries on driving. We're just talking about the scrap family, and we get to, I kid you not, we get to the turn off before our street, and my sister is like, well, we've got to go turn around to see it, like we need to see it. And I was just like, oh, for God's sakes, can we not just go home at this point? Because it's been like being in the car with the Chuckle Brothers, but like on crack, quite frankly. So we go back to the scrap family. It sounds so crazy as I'm saying it. We go back to look at the scrap family, and my sister says to me, we've got to film it as we're driving past. And I'm like, okay. I start filming as we're driving past. My mum and my sister was like, well, take a picture of it. I was like, well, I'm filming it. I'm filming as we're driving past. And they were like, well, take a picture of it. I was like, okay, fine, whatever, we take a picture of it. We're still arguing in the car, by the way. We finally get home. Okay. And I was just like, okay, I'll get my stuff out of the car. And I go to open my door, and my sister, like, touches it as if, like, to go and close it again. I'm like, please don't shut me out. Please don't shut me in this car right now, Bexy. And so she's like, oh shit, sorry, I forgot you were in the car still. I was like, okay, whatever. And we're driving, we're walking up to the house. Then my leg starts to, like, when like something feels like it's just poked it. I start wiggling my leg around to try and like get rid of the feeling. And my mum, could you not? She says, what's wrong with her? As if all this chaos did not just happen. Right. As if we didn't just experience like the weirdest like hour of our entire lives, with the blooming road items and the pose in the tree. It was the character of Poe, by the way, in the Teletubbies. And we were also discussing which one's gay. And I'm like, great, love that. Brilliant conversation. And I'm just like, whatever. I am completely done with this situation. But yeah, that was the morning. And surprisingly, I've been talking long enough that this is just going to be an episode in itself. So it probably is just going to be special. What happened today? I'm literally gonna like record. I'm gonna post this as soon as I record it. I'm deciding. But yeah, it was just crazy, and we ended up going in the pool as well. And we didn't know this, but there was actual like hardened piece of bird poo just in the pool. Two of us. So yeah, we fished that out. That was interesting. It was certainly a morning. Oh, we moved there. And just like a quick aside as well, just really, really weird. Obviously, we went in the pool just before lunchtime, so I made my lunch before them two like came out the pool, and I ended up eating the two wraps that them two wanted to eat apparently. So I like eat them and stuff, and I'm just very happy. And I go back through into like the concierge to open it back up again after we went out, and like I announced to my mum, I ate the wraps. I ate the two wraps and they were good. And she gets very annoyed. Them two kept on getting annoyed at me for being like, "What is this chaos?" They were like, "You're just ruining things now. Don't be so annoyed." I'm like, after all the shit you just pulled, after all of the stuff that you've put me through today, I'm the one that's annoying. Apparently, I was. I'm like, right, I wouldn't say that you're wrong. Like, I wouldn't directly come out and say that you are wrong because you're my sister and I don't want to do that. But you're wrong. Like, you are factually wrong in this point. I am not the problem, you lot are. I am just simply existing here. That was fun. It wasn't fun at all, actually. It was just really, really stupid. You know when like stupid things just happen and then you kind of just like stop and think about something and you're like, what am I actually dealing with here? Like, what? Why am I here? Why are we all here? Just to suffer, you know what I mean? So that was my morning. Yeah, this all happened. Like all of that chaos happened within about an hour somehow. Like the outside stuff, and then like we spent about 40 minutes in the pool, just like laying in the pool. I was just like, yeah, they just keep on talking. They just keep on being chaotic, and I'm not wanting to be here. But you know what? Here we are. I'm about to go and cook them dinner. I love how I look at my wrist as though I have a watch on. I don't. I don't have a watch on right now. I also did that in the pool actually yesterday. So I went to just to, another quick aside. I went to the pool yesterday, and because I was just so, I think just like tired, like mentally tired, I just did not enjoy myself at all, and like I was just like, I don't want to be here, and so I like again looked to my wrist as if to like look at the time, and remember I have a key on it because like obviously the pressure on my like wrist made me think I have my watch on. So I looked and I was like, "Oh, I'm not wearing my watch right now. My watch is in the locker." So that was fun. That was fun and interesting. Yeah. By the way, whenever I say those sorts of things, I am actually probably joking. I don't find it fun. So yeah, you know. That's that on that. Just a quick heads up if you are listening at this point, which I doubt anyone would be. I'm actually doing a massive thing in August, in which I just talk about the groups and things that I want to talk about and have a little bit of fun. And I'm going to be talking about what I like, what I've read is referred to with some people as NCT Wessex. Dear Alice, the band Dear Alice, the British K-pop esque-ish boy group from SM. I'm going to be talking about them and kind of giving you my review of their music stuff because I did kind of laugh at their chaos, but no, I want to give them their dues. I'm sure they're a great good group. I don't know. I just don't kind of let myself watch that sort of stuff. I should probably talk about the groups that I just don't touch with a tone football. But yeah, thank you as always for listening. It is an absolute pleasure being able to do this all the time. And I would constantly appreciate the fact that I'm able to, just talk about something that I quite frankly love with all my heart and know that people will also occasionally listen to my own life. But yeah, thank you. And I'll talk to you guys again very, very soon.